The triggers, the random fucking triggers that have me sitting in a Quick Trip parking lot trying not to cry. Why? Because my ex has so much money. He makes more than $18,000 a month easily, or at least he did. He made almost $1 million the year before we divorced and then lied about it. He has all the money.
This is the same woman that said it's not about money. She doesn't care about money.
It was all a lie. Guys, it was all a lie. She lied.
Hey, welcome back to my channel. It's Christine Grace and today is another reaction video. Today we are seeing more footage of marriages being broken up for honestly God knows what reasons at this point, but the pattern seems to remain the same. People are regretting their choices, and yeah, we need to bring light to these things because if people are saying they regret something, chances are there is something that we can learn. If not you, then someone else. Be sure to like the video on your way in, and any thoughts that you have during the video, of course, leave them in the comments below, and let's get straight into it.
And I'm trying to be happy and trying not to cry. Why? Because my ex has so much money. He makes more than $18,000 a month easily. And now I sit here with the triggers because he's going to the Clemson Notre Dame game with my kids. I can't just randomly afford that. Hell, I can't even get them all in the same room at the same time. So I sit here and I'm going to get through this trigger. I'm going to suck it up, buttercup, and I'll move on. But it's not fair. Like, it's not fair. I'm pissed.
Welcome back, family. Today we are going to review this 47-year-old woman who decided
She's 47? She must have had work done, surely.
I've never had surgery.
Not ever? Like, say, up around here?
No.
How is she 47? Or is it filters? I don't know.
to leave her 23-year-old stable marriage in order to find her happiness. And then she had the nerve to get mad and jealous at her ex-husband because he is doing much better financially after the divorce. Let me start by showing how much this woman can victimize herself. I mean, if there was a Victim Olympics competition, this woman would have strike gold. Now, before the sweet tears, let's watch her summarize her life story in few minutes.
Hey, it's Jenna. Recently divorced and kind of figuring out this new way of life. I was married for 23 years and with that person for 3 years prior. So for a total of 26 years of my life, I have been out of the game of dating, making friends, going out, and stuff like that as a single woman in her 40s. Yeah, I'm 47. So I've raised children. My children are adult children now. And it's kind of interesting because it's so lonely at this stage in life after divorce, especially with older children, because you make all your friends when they're younger, or at least I did. I met my friends mostly through my kids' activities. I was a stay-at-home mom and I took them to practices, I went to school, all that stuff. During my marriage, my weight went up and down. My looks fluctuated depending on health needs or what mental state I was in because of the abuse I was dealing with. And also just having children and being exhausted, literally doing everything. So as your children get older and as you go through changes in life like divorce or anything like that, your looks will tend to change. Mine have obviously changed a little bit. Actually, a lot. I have an autoimmune disease, so I did not have control over my weight for many years. And once they got my medications under control, and then I got out of my toxic environment, and honestly, I find refuge in the gym. I live in the gym. I have always been an athlete. I have always loved to work out. So this is not anything new. Nothing is going to change in like 6 months. When I'm healed, I will always be a gym rat. But it's interesting because I found that, you know, with this new day and age, I've kind of gotten into TikToks and all that stuff, and social media. I'm a photographer. Like, that's part of my job. I'm a visual communications major back in the day. Everything I do is visual. And so this was like something I could grasp to, I could feel, I could see, touch, all that stuff. I've said a million times how I don't connect online, just through text and all that stuff. So it's interesting to me.
Oh, all I picked up on is the word interesting, and all I can think is she's so boring. I don't understand what she's doing. Again, this is the whole TikTok projection, like TikTok. Hello. I'm just bored.
That I have recently come across and heard a ton. I have had so many people message, comment. I've even had people in my like personal life say, you look expensive, or, you know, you're really pretty, so you probably, I don't understand why you would complain about that. Like pretty girls can't have problems, or pretty girls can't feel sad about.
What speaks to me is the fact that she's 47 and calling herself a girl.
That's really disturbing.
She's saying she's a girl. She's not saying she's a woman. She's saying she's a girl. Speaks to the mental age, if you ask me. A bit of a Freudian slip. But hey, what do I know? Just some idiot 23-year-old who knows.
Lots of girls get this. The guy just wants to get that girl's attention. Someone they've seen on social media for whatever reason. She's a girl in their town they know. She has the looks that she wants. Whatever the reason is. But they really don't want anything with that girl. They just want the ego boost, the attention for that moment and all that stuff. And then...
You got it. You would think if she was this good at psychoanalyzing men that perhaps she would have been able to pick up the cues that was suggesting to her that her marriage was heading downhill. But no, you got it. Good job.
You nailed it! Or you killed it.
They move on. And so I've had this happen several times. And I've said to my girlfriends in close confidence, and I'm like, I don't understand. Like, I don't get it. What am I doing wrong? And they're like, you're not doing anything. They knew immediately that you were out of their league.
Awful friends. In a situation where something has gone wrong, no good friend is going to sit there and say, you've done nothing wrong. They will tell you on your flaws. If you're genuinely the lesser one at fault, they will make that clear. They will make that clear if you are being too harsh on yourself. And they will make that clear if you have tried everything you can possibly try. However, good friends will still try their best to find what it is that you can do, because they're your friends. They care about how they can help you. They can't help you by telling you you're a victim, because that just keeps you immobilized. That doesn't give you any option other than to just sit there in your own self-pity. Good friends will find a way to tell you, well, you could try this, you could try this, you could try this. And you can only try things that are within your control, which means you can only do things within yourself, which requires a level of accountability and responsibility. So you don't sound like you have great friends.
All my friends just get me into fights and trouble.
They just wanted you to be the toy. They wanted to, get you.
Oh, she's 47. She's 47. This sounds like a conversation that 16-year-olds would have in the playground.
And play with this shiny toy that they thought was so pretty, or they thought...
Yes, you're right. You're absolutely right. Men are just basically children. They're just children who have no idea about anything and want to play with pretty toys. Oh, dear.
Had all these attributes that they wanted, but they knew they couldn't keep you because they couldn't, you're out of their league.
No, ma'am. You got pumped and dumped by Chad. You can try to make yourself feel better by saying that these men were out of your league, but the truth of the matter is that you played yourself by leaving your husband thinking that you could do better. Look where you are now.
This past year has been the hardest of my life, and this next season of the holiday season, I just triggered myself. It's gonna be really, really hard. I could be on the ground right now. I'm not gonna cry, because I wanted to kill myself last year.
Oh no. Here we go again.
There you go. There you have it. She's mentally unstable. She needs to be seeking proper help. She needs to get off TikTok. This is not a stable person.
She just goes a little mad sometimes. We all go a little mad sometimes.
Parental alienation through a separation and South Carolina separation law that my ex used everything he could to hurt me. And the hottie season was...
This is really bad. Yeah, she's not stable. She shouldn't be on social media. Her friends sound bloody awful. I don't know. It's a real shame, isn't it, that TikTok, the algorithm and everything over there is actually built in such a way that these unstable people do well. So it encourages people to lose their mind for clicks, for views.
Anything goes! It's Thunderdome!
It's just a shame. Normal, sane people don't say things like that.
It was the epitome of hell, because I was a stay-at-home mom and I was the magic of every holiday.
You mean that you had what most women dream to have. You mean that you were a stay-at-home mom whom husband was working his ass off so that you can live a blissful life without having to work, and you threw all of that away for some fantasy. Guys, this woman had it so good, but she blew it just because she thought that she was missing onto some magical stuff out there that might make her happy. Check it out.
I don't know. I'm in a different stage today. Honestly, I literally have been having a great week, amazing week, and then all of a sudden today my emotions I had the craziest thoughts, and I wonder, does anybody else feel this way?
People speak to their phones and on TikTok how they should really be speaking in a private room with a therapist.
It is what it is. It is what it is.
I feel like I'm in mourning of the life I thought that I was going to have. And I'm kind of pissed at myself. I stayed in a marriage for 23 years and built up a family and my ex's career and everything. And we literally just got to where it was supposed to be everything we dreamed of. Like, owned a company, making, almost $1 million. And that was my breaking point. And I left it all. And I'm not a person that is about money.
Stop the cap.
You sure seem like you are.
Oh my gosh, I gave it all up. Everything was around my family. So when I chose to leave, I gave it all up. All up.
Yeah, you chose to leave. That would imply that you're giving it all up. Yes, we know. You've clarified you were the one to leave.
I had no clue that the worst was yet to come in the 1 year of separation. And so it's weird because I find that I just thought today for a split second, and I'm like, what the hell's wrong with you? What the fuck is wrong with you? I thought, I should have just stayed. It wasn't that bad. You made it 23 years. You made 26 years total. Your kids are college and one's almost out of high school. You made it. It didn't matter at this point. They can do their own separate life and all that. You made it to the point where you guys were making so much money and you had big houses and you could do whatever you want and you can relax. And I literally just called my friend and I was freaking out because I'm the biggest person that keeps me back. I'm terrified. I don't have 401k. My counsel did not have my back. I was so traumatized when I got out and then terrorized for the next year that I couldn't even think straight to help the people that wanted to help me. And the people I entrusted to help me didn't help me. And there's just timelines that you can't stop. And so it is what it is. And, I'm 47 years old. It's not like I'm 25. I'm healthy, kinda. I have an autoimmune disease, which means it's life-threatening for the rest of my life. Things can change. But it's not like I'm an invalid and can't do anything for myself. But it is terrifying. I could have stayed. I'm so mad that I think this way. I could have stayed. My life would have been so much easier.
That's her conscience speaking there. Unfortunately, a lot of people aren't in tune with their conscience and it gets silenced, it gets repressed, often by the ego, which if you can see it, you know what I'm talking about. But yeah, the conscience often gets repressed in people. And that's why we get a lot of victim people in this generation. What happens when the conscience gets repressed? Anything repressed can't stay repressed for very long. It leaks out. It builds up and builds up and builds up, and then it comes back to haunt you. So what we're seeing is her conscience haunting her. If she had good people around her, and if she took a bit more accountability for her life, if she was less in her ego, she might have been able to hear her conscience a lot earlier, perhaps before it was too late. But truth is now it is too late, and she will likely pay for that for the rest of her life.
I could have just gone and done whatever I wanted, kind of. I mean, I say that, and then I think as I say that, I'm like, but you couldn't.
But you can see it again, though. She's not stable. So is it any wonder that it ended up this way? Your mental health is your responsibility, guys. There's things there that can help you, and there's things that you can do to help yourself, and it's up to you to take that step, especially if someone offers you help as well. If someone around you is encouraging you to get help and they're offering to help you in one way or another, you have to help them to help you. And unfortunately, when people are a certain level of mental illness, they either live in complete delusion, they don't accept just how ill they are, and they refuse help. And a lot of people don't realise that by omittance, you're still refusing the help. Your lack of action to do something is still refusing the help. And they will play that off as, again, the victim excuse of, oh, well, someone should have tried harder to help me, blah, 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 blah. People are people are human beings. People can only do so much. And people aren't going to prohibit or hinder themselves in life for someone who can't even do their bit. Everything is a two-way street in life. You win some, you lose some, you give some, you take some. Everything is, it needs to be fair. And unfortunately, these people just expect other people to be able to figure things out for them. And this is more and more common today. more and more common. People expect handouts left, right and centre. They expect everything to be done for them. People have lost the ability to think and do things for themselves, and that's why we see so many people unhappy in life and unhappy with their life's direction. Yeah, what can you do if people don't want to help themselves?
And there's absolutely nothing you can do about it.
Geopolitical tensions are escalating. Inflation is raging. Despite what they say, stocks are sinking, debt is rising, and your own financial future isn't looking too great. Gold endures every crisis. Wars, disaster, no calamity has beaten gold. While paper assets crash and burn, gold endures every time. You need to take a fresh look at gold steadying your portfolio. And right now, get a free 3-ounce silver American Virtue coin when you open an IRA with Noble Gold Investments today. Shield your savings with Noble Gold Investments. Go to noblegoldinvestments.com now. noblegoldinvestments.com, the only gold company I trust.
It's like so weird that my brain thinks that way. And I called my girlfriend and I told her, I was like, I probably should have just stayed. I should have just stayed. It wasn't that bad. And she just started, she's like, Jenna, what are you talking about? Like, literally. And then I just keep thinking, I'm like, but I had a huge house. And
remember earlier in the video where she said that she's not really concerned about money and materialistic possessions?
That's what she said.
And then her first reason for why she should have stayed that's come out her mouth, again, Freudian slip, I don't know, perhaps I'm just an idiot, but the first thing that comes out of her mouth is, I had a big house. Is it him she misses, or is it what came with him?
I think she's trying to take him for all he's got.
All my bills were paid for and I never had to think how they were going to get paid.
People reveal themselves. If you listen very, very carefully to what it actually is that people are saying, don't get caught up in the emotions, because people can project certain emotions, and sometimes it's a way to manipulate you into feeling what they're projecting that they're feeling rather than hearing what they're saying. If you listen very, very closely to the words that people use and the way they describe things and the order of priority that they describe things in, because people will always say the most important thing first. People reveal themselves. People's true motives reveal themselves. And that's why it's very, very important to watch yourself as well. Watch what it is that you say. Watch what it is for how you behave. Because a big mistake that people can make in life is thinking they know themselves. You can't ever fully know every single aspect of yourself because you are changing every single day. So just as much as in a relationship, you've got to get to know the other person every day, you've also got to get to know yourself every day. Because the mind is an extremely powerful, powerful thing. And to be able to stay on top of it, you need to understand that there is a level of unpredictability to it. There is a level of chaos to it. It's such a complex thing. And I don't think any human being that's ever lived has fully understood the full capability of the human brain. But you need to understand how complex it is, and to do that, you need to watch yourself. You need to watch what it is that you say, watch what it is that you do, and get to know your behaviors. I'm going off on a bit of a tangent here.
You need to get it together.
If me saying this, you're instantly thinking, of course I know myself. I know exactly how I am. Go read some of the literature, the psychological literature into the shadow, because there are dark parts to every single one of us, and your best bet in life is to get to know that dark part, because if it remains in the shadows...
You think darkness is your ally? You merely adopted the dark. I was born in it.
It's dangerous. It can come out and scare you at any point, but if you can shine a light on it and see what it's really up to, then you're a very good predictor of yourself, and in practice of that, you become a good predictor of other people. It's always good to kind of know what's ahead of you, isn't it? You wouldn't drive through a fog without your fog lights on, would you?
My grass was cut, well, not the last year of separation. But you know what I mean? All the basic things to keep the image up. And I gave up my entire image that I was trained to have for my family for 23 years. Like, I was the stay-at-home mom, and I made the image of we were the perfect family. I have beautiful children. They were dressed right. They, did top sport.
Again, what is all this saying about her level of importance and priority on things? What was the first thing that she noted about her kids? Not that they were polite, not that they were kind, not that they had good memories. They were dressed right. This lady is a very materialistic lady. Again, I've said it before and I will say it again. People who have to clarify they are not something probably are, and people who have to clarify that they are something probably aren't.
It's science.
Sports like cheer and football, and went to all that stuff. And I was, the cheer mom, and, did all that stuff, and then did photography on the side just to make money, to make ends meet while he built his career up. And I stayed long enough to just give it all up when it was like right there. And I'm so mad at myself because I'm not this way. I don't think this way. But it is hard to be a single female when you're 47, when your kids
are out. It's not like I have little kids. I always say, if I had little kids, this would be not even a question, because that instinct comes in. I have to, my kids, you know, I got little kids. I got to get them up for school. I got to get them to here. I got to get them to there. I got to go to work. I got to do that. I don't have that. I'm literally at home. The worst time of my day is after the gym at night, when the house is quiet and silent and I just am in my thoughts. And it's so hard. Like, I'm my own boss. If I don't go to work, if I get sick, nothing happens. And my general photography would just crumble. And I love what I do. I have a passion for it. I love it. But I'm in my head. Like, I'm literally in my head. And I'm booking shoots and I'm doing amazing. I'm so excited. But every time I think future and long run, I freak out. Because my future was right there. Like, it was solidified. Like, I was comfortable for the rest of my life. Maybe not mentally in my relationship, but financially, I was fine. And I gave it all up to be happy. Maybe I should have stayed. It was like stable in every other area but that. Like, is my mental health really that important? And then my friends remind me, they're like, yes, like you're just in that crazy in-between stage. And I'm trying to work through it. I'm trying to work through the process.
She has such awful friends. If your mental health was a problem, if that's what you've identified as the problem, and it is, obviously, we've identified multiple times that this woman is unfortunately unstable. You should have been doing something about that in the relationship, so to not hinder the relationship itself as a consequence of your mental health. To come to the conclusion that the relationship is the reason for your mental health requires a lot of thought, requires a lot of investigation, in which case you should be using professional services to investigate that. She clearly has the money to be able to do so, so do that. Again, that would require a level of accountability, wouldn't it? That would require, it's much easier to just say, oh, he was the problem, he was causing my mental health problems. People do that all the time. They will blame someone else for their mental health problems, which is just ridiculous. It doesn't make any sense. If it's your mental health problems, if it's your mental health, if you are the one being unstable, it's coming from in your mind. It means something in your mind isn't working as it should. So you should be able to take the accountability to say, something's not quite going right in my head, so I need to fix that. And if you are in a good relationship, then the person who's in that relationship will be there to support you through that. But that doesn't mean that they can be the answer to your problems. Doesn't mean they can be the answer to your mental health problems. That is your responsibility. It's the only way out of it. And I'm not saying this to be mean. I'm saying this to be kind. I don't want people to be unstable. Unstable people are not good for society. They're not productive for society. I myself was adopted because of a mentally unstable person. She was not able to look after me. So what good would it do me sitting here telling people, you know, things that aren't going to help? The only thing that will help you get out of your own head is to take responsibility for the fact that it's your head. It's your head. It's on your shoulders. No one else can change that. Yeah, that's all I have to say on that.
But it's terrifying. It's terrifying to start over at 47. But it's hard to know you gave away. My ex will probably never make less than $1 million every year. And I'm starting over. And basically as if I'm a 20-year-old again. And it just doesn't seem fair.
Do you think that it was fair for you to leave your husband of 23 years so that you can go be happy, or whatever that means? Your husband sucked it up and moved on, and now he is doing better than ever before. So you need to woman up and take responsibility of your actions. Now it's time for some sweet tears and more regrets to conclude today's story.
Trying to survive this year. I'm gonna be honest, the random things that trigger me are the craziest things. I'm sitting in my car, literally sitting in my car, trying to pull myself together because I did what any mom does, and I pulled an emergency drive to my daughter because she needed something, and drove an hour because she's at college to drop something off, and was just so thankful that like I could do it for her and fit her in my schedule. And the littlest thing she said just triggered me, and this is the second time in a week that my child has triggered me without even meaning to. So we're getting ready to leave, and she's like, well, I'll be home because I'm going to be at the Clemson Notre Dame game because Dad's going to take us all. You think that's nothing, right? Like nothing, right? And it instantly, like she instantly saw a switch in me, and she's like, what's wrong? And I'm like, nothing, because, you know, I don't talk about that stuff. I don't want her to worry. She's like, Mom, what's wrong? I was like, nothing. And I had to keep it together.
Because last week, she said randomly, I was like, what are we going to do for Thanksgiving? This is my year to have Thanksgiving with you guys. What do you guys want to do? You want to volunteer? Do you want me to just cook at home? Do you want to go out to eat? Like, I'm literally like begging for them to give me any feedback, because last year my ex used every single holiday, even if it was my holiday, to be with my kids, to isolate me, manipulate them, to torment me, and everything he could with the South Carolina 1 year of separation law. And my lawyer did nothing to help me, and the laws did nothing to help me.
You're paying your lawyer. If there was a way the lawyer could have helped you, I'm sure they would have. Lawyers are paid to do a job. They don't care about how you feel. They care about making money. So that just tells me there was nothing that could be done, again, which would indicate that something here isn't quite adding up.
There's something awfully screwy going on around here.
Me and my children were used as weapons. So last week she says, oh, well, Dad said for Christmas we're going to go to Gatlinburg and be there for the holidays and do Dollywood. That man never once ever went to Gatlinburg or Dollywood ever in his entire life before he met me. That was where my family always went. I'm from Tennessee. That's something we always did. It was a bonding thing. And now that's what he's trying to do. It's like he's taken every single tradition I've ever done and now turned it into his. Everything I've ever done. And the worst part and the thing that triggers me is that I was screwed. Like, I'm not even gonna lie. There's no way to lie about it. Like, I literally was screwed. Now I find myself triggered because during the hardest time of my year last year, of me literally trying to stay alive, me dealing with all the craziness of my ex, the lying, the alienation, him calling me a whore, him having my children call me a whore. Why? Not because I did anything bad, because I wore spaghetti straps and all that. And the only way that he could use my children against me was to say I was on social media. And in some ways, I'm not even helping myself because my brain is so
You're not helping yourself. Your children have clearly communicated a distaste for how you're behaving on social media. How they communicated said distaste was obviously wrong. You don't call your parents a whore. Even if they're acting like one. Respect for your mum and dad absolutely has to come first. But they should be able to communicate that they're unhappy with a type of way that you're behaving, especially if that's embarrassing them. So no, you're not helping yourself if your kids have already communicated a dislike of how you behave on social media. And how you're currently communicating on social media is coming across like a whiny teenager. And that's embarrassing for them. It's also embarrassing for you, but I understand we've already established that we know this lady is unstable. But again, you have to help yourself. This shouldn't be on TikTok.
Stressed. I'm just trying to don't keep dwelling on it. I keep telling myself, don't dwell on it. Just survive right now. Just get through it. Just get through the holidays. But there's a timeline. And if I don't do stuff by February 8th, I can never fix the situation. But if I don't survive now, I'm literally going to be a complete mess mentally. So I'm trying, like, this is like...
She doesn't even realise she's already there. You already are a complete mess mentally. You've said a number of really quite wild things to the internet. You're erratic. Your behaviour is not stable.
Stop it. Get some help.
Crazy medium. And I'm trying to be happy and show my kids that like life can move on, but the triggers, the random fucking triggers that have me sitting in a Quick Trip parking lot trying not to cry. Why? Because my ex has so much money. He makes more than $18,000.
There it is again. There it is again. That's what bothers her.
$1,000 a month easily, or at least he did. He made almost $1 million the year before we divorced and then lied about it. He has all the money.
This is the same woman that said it's not about money. She doesn't care about money.
It was all a lie. Guys, it was all a lie. She lied.
He at his fingertips to do whatever he wants, to buy my children, take them on trips, take them on vacations. Why I literally had the bare minimum to pay my bills on top of trying to restart a career because it was a hobby, because I was a stay-at-home mom. And just like he said, I wasn't part of the equation. I was not part of the equation in the entire marriage, this man told me. My role in life was to be the mother of his children and to do anything that was needed for the family while he built his career.
What a lot of women dream of. Coming across a bit tone deaf and insensitive.
I was not part of the equation. So how was that marriage ever supposed to survive?
Because if you were behaving how a wife and a mother should behave, it would still be in full swing. But do you see again the mental instability, the erratic behavior? She's gone from one video regretting leaving, saying that the only thing that wasn't quite right in the marriage was her mental health. Again, it's become about money. Again, it's become about her position of authority in the relationship. I don't think she really knows what the problem is. And it's this we've unfortunately raised a generation of women who would rather be on an emotional roller coaster than have stability in their life. They get bored very easily. And lack of awareness to that female nature of chaos results in things breaking down, unfortunately, because lack of awareness of the female chaotic nature means that it's not being watched. It's in the dark, it's in the fog. So unfortunately it can take over when you least expect it. We're gonna get you. Got to be aware of yourself, man or woman, women especially, because we are chaotic beings. You know, there's a reason in mythology men represent order and women represent chaos. I'm aware I've gone off on many tangents this video. I apologise if you're just like, Christine, shut up, but I just have a lot to say about this.
What do you say we cut the chit chat?
Fully 100% in trying to make a marriage, a life, a family, and this man never included me in the equation. And then when it was done and I got loose and I tried to survive, that man had been plotting for over a year on how to make my life hell because he had all the money, all the control. And now I sit here with the triggers. A fucking trigger because he's going to the Clemson Notre Dame game with my kids. I can't just randomly afford that. Hell, I can't even get them all in the same room at the same time. So I sit here and I'm gonna get through this trigger. I'm gonna suck it up, buttercup, and I'll move on. But it's not fair. Like, it's not fair. I'm pissed.
She's 47 again, just in case you forgot. This isn't a 13-year-old having a tantrum. This is a 47-year-old having a tantrum. This is a 47-year-old having a tantrum.
It's just not fair, and I don't understand how.
Now you can go be happy. Now you can go pursue your career. Now you can be a free and empowered woman. Nobody forced you to get a divorce. You wanted out of the marriage and you got it. There is nothing in life that is worth having that doesn't require some kind of efforts and sacrifices. Life is all about trade-offs and choices. Once you make a decision, you're gonna have to honor and live by it.
Absolutely. Couldn't agree more. What a perfect way and a perfect statement to end the video with. Life's all about trade-offs and decisions. Gotta stick by it. Gotta bite the bullet. Gotta roll with the punches. This is just what I think. Why don't you let me know what you think in the comments below. Guys, I'm working on some really exciting things, so be sure to head over to my channel, make sure you subscribe on the way, and check out playlists to see all the different things I've been up to. And make sure you hit the notification bell to ensure that you stay up to date with all of my videos. Like the video on your way out, and I will see you very soon in the next one.